It started with a single moment that nobody expected, a moment that instantly split the entire basketball world in half. During a live show, Miller, one of the most respected voices in the sport, looked straight into the camera and said the words that Team USA clearly didn't want to hear. "Stop benching Caitlin." It wasn't whispered. It wasn't hinted. It wasn't wrapped in coach speak. He said it publicly, boldly, and without hesitation. And the reaction that followed spread across the internet like wildfire. People weren't just surprised by what he said. They were shocked that somebody finally said it out loud. The way the clip exploded across social media proved one thing: fans had been waiting for someone with authority to bring this conversation directly into the spotlight, and Miller did it with zero fear. But that single moment was only the beginning, because behind that statement was a deeper story, one that has been building for months under the surface. The truth is, the benching didn't start yesterday. Fans noticed the pattern almost immediately. Game after game, Caitlin's minutes were mysteriously low, even when Team USA desperately needed scoring, playmaking, or just someone who could break open the floor with insane range. Analysts tried to justify it with words like rotations and fit, but none of it convinced the people actually watching the games. Every time Caitlin touched the court, the energy shifted. The ball moved faster, the spacing opened instantly, and opponents suddenly looked uncomfortable. Yet somehow, after every spark she created, she was right back on the bench. And with every game, the questions grew louder. Fans tracked each minute. Commentators highlighted the contrast with other guards who were struggling while still getting heavy playing time. Discussions started all over social media, and the message became impossible to ignore. Something wasn't adding up. But the frustration wasn't just about game time. People began to sense there was something deeper happening behind the scenes. Reports quietly surfaced, claiming there was tension around Caitlin's presence, with whispers that some veterans weren't too excited about the attention she brought. Online speculation suggested there might be a desire to protect the hierarchy, a belief that the older generation didn't want the new superstar overshadowing their legacy. And suddenly, the conversation went way beyond sports. It became a cultural moment. Analysts debated whether this was a fear of change or a fear of losing control. Rumors claimed that coaches were tiptoeing around rotations to avoid upsetting the established leaders. Nothing was confirmed, of course, but the way certain decisions kept repeating made the speculation feel strangely believable. At the same time, Caitlin's influence on the sport was growing bigger than anything Team USA had seen in years. Every game she appeared in boosted ratings. Every highlight went viral. Every moment she stepped onto the court created an electricity that nobody else could replicate. With that level of impact, it became obvious why some people inside the system might be nervous. They didn't want Team USA turning into the Caitlin show. They didn't want one player becoming bigger than the institution. And yet, try as they might to control the narrative, fans noticed everything. They saw the awkward substitutions, the strange rotations, the moments she was benched right after a huge play, and they reacted with a force that nobody could have predicted. It started small, just a few frustrated posts, a handful of comments, but then it exploded. TikTok was filled with edits demanding answers. X was flooded with millions of posts accusing Team USA of favoritism. Hashtags like Free Caitlin and Play Her Now began trending almost daily. Fans didn't just want Caitlin to play, they expected it. And when they didn't get it, every questionable decision became fuel for a growing firestorm. Even major sports pages, ones that usually avoid conflict, started joining the conversation. Comment sections turned into debates that lasted for days, and in the middle of that chaos, sponsors began watching more closely because wherever Caitlin went, the numbers followed. So why did Miller speak up when he did? People who have followed his career already know he doesn't talk unless he means every word. He's coached stars, he's coached underdogs, he's seen how talent can be wasted when politics get in the way. And according to insiders, he had privately questioned some of Team USA's decisions long before he ever said anything publicly. He saw Caitlin's dedication, her composure, her impact, and he didn't like the way she was being used. When he finally spoke, he wasn't just defending a player, he was calling out a system that many believe is struggling to adapt to a new era where old rules don't work anymore. His message wasn't disrespectful, it was a warning. If you don't use your best players, someone else will. Team USA's response was complicated. Publicly, everything was calm, professional, controlled. But insiders claimed the internal reaction was anything but peaceful. Some staff members were unhappy that the conversation had gone public. Some veterans reportedly didn't appreciate being questioned. Meetings grew tense. Nothing official came out, but the silence spoke louder than words. And the worst part? Even after the backlash and all the conversations, the rotations didn't change significantly. Fans waited to see an adjustment, a sign that the message had been heard. Instead, they watched more confusing substitutions, more short stints, more moments where Caitlin barely touched the floor. And that was when everything truly reached the breaking point. There was a game one that fans still talk about, where Caitlin played far less than expected despite the team struggling. The anger online reached a new level. National reporters started pressing harder, asking uncomfortable questions in interviews. Former players began calling out the decisions. Commentators on live broadcasts openly questioned why she wasn't on the court. And through all of it, Team USA's PR machine tried to downplay the controversy, but their silence only made the situation look worse. Meanwhile, Caitlin maintained complete professionalism. She never complained, never threw shade, never made excuses. But fans could see the frustration in subtle moments, the tight smile, the quiet walk to the bench, the way she kept focusing on her team even while being held back. Her silence only made the situation feel more unfair. To many, it looked like she was being punished for her popularity, as if the attention she generated was somehow a problem, not an asset. And because she refused to create drama, fans felt even more protective of her. As the tension grew, the bigger question began hanging in the air. What does this mean for the future of Team USA? This generation of young stars is watching everything. They're seeing how the biggest name in the sport is being handled. They're seeing how old-school politics clash with modern influence. They're seeing how business, branding, and ego all collide in one place. If Team USA doesn't fix this, it won't just hurt Caitlin, it could damage the trust of an entire new wave of athletes who want a fair shot at shaping the future. And that brings us back to where it all started. Miller didn't create the controversy. He simply dragged it into the light. He said what millions of fans were already thinking, what analysts had been whispering, what young players were afraid to say themselves, and now the whole world is paying attention. The real question isn't whether Caitlin should play more. The real question is why she wasn't playing in the first place. Was Team USA protecting the team or protecting egos? And if they don't answer that soon, the entire culture of the program might be forced to change, whether they want it to or not.